Many seniors believe that if they eat well, take their medications, and go about daily life without major issues, they are safe from the threat of stroke. But as a brain doctor, I must warn you that this belief can be dangerously misleading. Strokes often strike without clear warning signs, and once they happen, the damage can be permanent. What makes it even more concerning is that older adults carry hidden risks that quietly build up over time. Even when they seem healthy on the surface, imagine your mother, your father, or even yourself waking up one morning feeling fine, only to suddenly lose the ability to speak or move an arm a few hours later. This is not rare. It is the terrifying reality for many families who never realized how close their loved one was to a life-altering stroke. The truth is, age itself raises stroke risk, but there are additional factors that can silently push that risk much higher. Some of these are linked to common conditions like high blood pressure, diabetes, or heart problems. Others come from everyday habits that seem harmless, but, over time, quietly weaken blood vessels and circulation. If these risks are not understood and controlled, the chances of suffering a devastating stroke grow with each passing year. In this video, I will reveal 5 hidden dangers that every senior and their family must recognize. By learning about these risks now, you can take action to protect your brain, safeguard your independence, and give yourself or your loved ones a far better chance at staying healthy as the years go by. 1. High blood pressure. High blood pressure is one of the most dangerous and yet one of the most underestimated threats to an aging brain. Many seniors live with it every single day without realizing just how much silent damage it can cause. Doctors often call it the silent killer because you may not feel anything wrong while the pressure inside your blood vessels is steadily rising. Over time, this pressure weakens the delicate walls of your arteries, making them stiff and fragile. When that happens, the smooth flow of blood to the brain is disrupted, and the chance of a vessel either clogging or bursting becomes much greater. That is exactly what leads to strokes. Imagine a garden hose that is forced to handle water at a much higher pressure than it was built for. At first, it looks fine, but inside, tiny cracks begin to form. If this continues, eventually the hose either leaks or bursts open. Your arteries work the same way. High blood pressure slowly damages them until one day, the damage shows itself in the form of a stroke. This is why seniors with uncontrolled blood pressure face a risk many times higher than those with healthy readings. What makes this even more serious is that high blood pressure rarely shows symptoms. You cannot simply wait to feel it. Many older adults believe that as long as they are not dizzy, have no headaches, and seem well, everything must be fine. That is a dangerous misconception. In truth, the only way to know your numbers is through regular monitoring, either at home with a reliable device or during medical checkups. Every senior and every family should treat blood pressure monitoring as a basic part of daily or weekly routine, the same way you would check the locks on your doors before going to bed. Managing high blood pressure requires more than just checking it. Lifestyle changes are powerful tools. Reducing salt in your diet, avoiding processed foods, maintaining a healthy weight, and staying physically active all help bring pressure down. Even simple choices like drinking enough water, walking for half an hour each day, or limiting alcohol can make a meaningful difference. For some seniors, medication prescribed by a doctor is essential, and when taken consistently, it greatly lowers stroke risk. The key is consistency. Skipping doses or adjusting medicine on your own can undo months of protection. Families play a vital role here. If your parent or spouse is older and living at home, encourage them to measure their blood pressure regularly. Write down the results. Look for patterns, and bring those notes to the doctor. This creates a clear picture of what is really happening inside their body. And remember, blood pressure is not just about numbers on a machine. It represents the strain on the most vital organ of all, the brain. By keeping it under control, you are protecting memory, independence, and quality of life. High blood pressure may sound ordinary, but it is far from harmless. It is the hidden force that slowly wears down the body until one day it triggers a stroke. Recognizing it, controlling it, and taking it seriously is one of the most important steps any senior can take to stay safe. And 2, diabetes. Diabetes is another powerful risk factor that silently raises the chance of stroke in seniors. Many people think of diabetes only as a disease of sugar or diet, something that can be controlled by watching what you eat or taking a pill. But the truth is, diabetes affects far more than just blood sugar levels. Over time, consistently high sugar in the blood damages the lining of blood vessels. This damage makes the vessels weaker and more prone to becoming clogged or ruptured. For the brain, where constant blood flow is essential, this is a recipe for disaster. A stroke can occur when a vessel that has been slowly injured by years of diabetes finally gives way. Think of blood vessels like smooth highways carrying traffic in perfect order. When blood sugar runs high, it is as if heavy trucks filled with sharp gravel are constantly rolling over the road. Small cracks form, the surface becomes rough, and blockages begin to appear. Eventually, traffic cannot pass through. And in the body, that traffic jam is a clot that can cut off blood flow to the brain. Seniors with poorly controlled diabetes, therefore, face a stroke risk that is significantly higher than those without the condition. Another hidden danger is that diabetes often comes with other health problems that add to the risk. High blood pressure and high cholesterol are extremely common in people with diabetes. Together, they create what doctors call a triple threat to the blood vessels. Each one alone is harmful, but when combined, the damage progresses much faster. For seniors who already have fragile arteries, this combination can be devastating. Managing diabetes effectively is not just about taking medication. It requires a complete lifestyle approach. Seniors need to keep their blood sugar levels within the target range recommended by their doctor. This involves healthy eating with a focus on whole grains, vegetables, lean proteins, and limited sugary or processed foods. Portion control is critical, since even healthy foods can raise sugar if eaten in large amounts. Regular physical activity helps as well. Something as simple as a daily walk or light exercises at home can make the body use sugar more effectively, lowering the overall burden on the bloodstream. Monitoring is another key. Seniors with diabetes should check their blood sugar as instructed and keep a record of their results. These numbers give doctors the information they need to adjust treatment before serious complications occur. Skipping checks or ignoring high readings only increases the risk of stroke and other life-threatening conditions. Families and caregivers can play an important role in this process. Preparing balanced meals together, reminding loved ones to take their medications, and encouraging daily activity all make a difference. Even small steps, such as replacing sugary drinks with water or adding more vegetables to each meal, reduce strain on the blood vessels. Diabetes may seem manageable day by day, but its long-term effects on blood vessels should never be underestimated. For seniors, Failing to control diabetes is like quietly building up pressure inside a dam. Sooner or later, that dam can break. By keeping blood sugar under control, combining medication with healthy habits, and working closely with doctors, seniors can greatly reduce the chances of suffering a stroke and preserve their independence for years to come. 3. Heart disease. Heart disease is one of the strongest links to stroke that many seniors overlook. The brain and the heart are deeply connected. If the heart struggles, the brain suffers, because it depends on the steady rhythm and strength of the heart to receive a constant supply of oxygen-rich blood. When that rhythm becomes irregular, or when the heart is weakened by disease, the risk of stroke rises sharply. One of the most common culprits is a condition called atrial fibrillation, where the upper chambers of the heart beat irregularly instead of in a smooth pattern. In this irregular rhythm, blood does not flow properly and tends to pool inside the heart. When blood sits still, clots can form. A clot that breaks free can travel directly to the brain, blocking blood flow and causing an ischemic stroke in seconds. This risk is not small. Studies show that seniors with untreated atrial fibrillation are several times more likely to suffer a stroke compared to those without the condition. The tragedy is that many people live with atrial fibrillation without knowing it, since it does not always cause obvious symptoms. Some may feel occasional fluttering in the chest or brief dizziness, but others may feel nothing unusual at all. That is why regular heart checkups are so important, especially for older adults. Detecting an irregular rhythm early allows doctors to prescribe treatments that dramatically reduce the risk of clots and strokes. Heart disease, however, is not limited to rhythm problems. Narrowed coronary arteries, weakened heart muscle from past heart attacks, or chronic heart failure, also put stress on the circulatory system. When the heart cannot pump efficiently, blood flow to the brain becomes unstable. Reduced circulation means less oxygen and nutrients reach brain tissue, making it more vulnerable. If a blockage occurs on top of that, the brain has little reserve to protect itself. The result can be a devastating stroke. Prevention begins with awareness. Seniors who have not had a heart screening in years should schedule one without delay. A simple electrocardiogram, an echocardiogram, or blood tests can reveal hidden issues. Doctors may recommend medications to thin the blood, control heart rate, or strengthen the heart's pumping function. These treatments, when followed carefully, provide powerful protection against stroke. Ignoring them, on the other hand, allows silent risks to grow. Lifestyle choices also matter greatly. A heart-healthy diet low in saturated fats, regular, gentle exercise, quitting smoking, and controlling blood pressure all support the heart and, by extension, the brain. Even light daily activity, such as walking after meals or stretching at home, improves circulation and reduces clot formation. For seniors, these small steps add up over time to significant protection. Families and caregivers can support heart health by ensuring medications are taken correctly, encouraging routine doctor visits, and paying attention to any unusual signs such as fatigue, swelling, or irregular heartbeat. These may seem minor, but can signal serious changes in heart function. Acting quickly can prevent complications before they turn into a stroke. The lesson is clear. A healthy heart means a healthier brain. Seniors who treat heart disease seriously, follow medical advice, and make supportive lifestyle changes are giving themselves the best chance to avoid a sudden, life-changing stroke. Heart disease may start in the chest, but its impact reaches all the way to the brain. 4. Smoking. Smoking remains one of the most destructive habits when it comes to brain health. Yet, many seniors underestimate its direct connection to stroke. Some think that after decades of smoking, the damage is already done, and quitting at an older age will not matter. That belief is dangerously wrong. The truth is, every cigarette continues to inflict harm, and the benefits of quitting appear almost immediately. No matter how long someone has smoked, when you inhale cigarette smoke, thousands of chemicals enter your bloodstream. These substances attack the walls of your arteries, making them rough and inflamed instead of smooth and elastic. Once blood vessels are damaged, cholesterol and other particles stick more easily, forming plaques that narrow the passageway. At the same time, smoking thickens the blood and lowers oxygen levels, forcing the heart to work harder while delivering less to the brain. Over time, this combination dramatically increases the chances of a clot blocking a vital artery and triggering a stroke. Imagine your blood vessels as clean glass pipes carrying water. With each puff of smoke, a thin layer of dirt coats the inside of those pipes. After years, the buildup becomes thick, sticky, and fragile. Eventually, a piece breaks off or clogs the flow entirely. That is exactly how smoking leads to strokes. What makes it even more dangerous is that it raises blood pressure, adds strain to the heart, and accelerates aging of the entire circulatory system. Quitting smoking is one of the most powerful ways to reduce stroke risk, and the benefits start quickly. Within days, blood pressure and oxygen levels begin to improve. Within weeks, circulation becomes more efficient, and the heart pumps with less strain. Within months to years, the risk of stroke falls significantly compared to those who continue to smoke. For seniors, it is never too late. In fact, older adults who quit often see improvements in energy, breathing, and overall quality of life, which makes daily activities easier and safer. The process of quitting is not easy, but support is available. Doctors can recommend medications, nicotine replacement options, or counseling programs designed for older adults. Senior home care providers or family members can help by offering encouragement, removing triggers such as ashtrays or lighters from the home, and celebrating small victories along the way. Each cigarette avoided is a step toward healthier blood vessels and a lower risk of stroke. Families play a crucial role. If you have an aging parent who still smokes, approach the subject with compassion. Remind them that quitting is not about erasing the past but protecting their future. Highlight the possibility of more time with children and grandchildren, more independence, and fewer hospital visits. These personal motivators often matter more than statistics. Smoking damages nearly every organ in the body, but its assault on the arteries and brain is especially severe. For seniors, continuing to smoke is like standing closer and closer to the edge of a cliff with each passing year. Quitting, on the other hand, is like stepping back to safety. The sooner the choice is made, the better the protection against the silent but devastating threat of stroke. 5. Lack of physical activity. A sedentary lifestyle is another hidden but powerful factor that quietly raises the risk of stroke in seniors. Many older adults believe that slowing down and avoiding too much movement is simply a natural part of aging, or even a way to prevent injuries. In reality, staying inactive allows a chain of dangerous changes to develop inside the body. Changes that weaken the heart, reduce circulation, and make blood vessels far more vulnerable to clotting and rupture. This silent decline often continues unnoticed until a devastating event such as a stroke occurs. When the body is inactive, circulation slows. Blood does not move as smoothly through the vessels, which encourages clot formation. Muscles that normally help pump blood back to the heart become weak, further reducing flow. Over time, inactivity also contributes to weight gain, higher blood pressure, and worsening blood sugar control, all of which directly increase the risk of stroke. For the brain, where a steady supply of oxygen-rich blood is essential, this sluggish circulation is especially dangerous. Think of the body as a river system. When the water is moving steadily, it stays clear and clean. When the flow slows to a crawl, debris begins to gather, and blockages form. That is exactly what happens in blood vessels when seniors remain inactive. The longer the inactivity continues, the greater the chance that one of these blockages will cut off blood flow to the brain. The good news is that restoring movement does not require intense exercise or hours at the gym. In fact, gentle, regular activity is often more beneficial for seniors. Simple habits like walking around the block, gardening, stretching, or light housework keep the body active and circulation strong. Even playful activities such as tossing a balloon back and forth, dancing slowly to music, or doing chair exercises can stimulate the heart and blood vessels enough to reduce stroke risk. For those with limited mobility, guided exercises in a chair or with the assistance of a caregiver can make a tremendous difference. The key is consistency. Movement should be part of everyday life, not something done once in a while. Families and caregivers can support seniors by encouraging activity in safe, enjoyable ways. Setting aside a few minutes each day for movement, creating routines, or turning exercise into a social event with friends or grandchildren helps keep motivation strong. Another critical point is to tailor activity to the individual's abilities. Pushing too hard can cause strain, but too little movement invites decline. Seniors should consult their doctor about what types of activities are safe for them, especially if they have other health conditions. The goal is not to achieve athletic performance, but to maintain circulation, strength, and independence. The brain thrives on healthy blood flow, and physical activity is one of the most effective ways to keep that flow steady. For seniors, every step, every stretch, and every moment of movement is a direct investment in protecting the brain. Avoiding inactivity is not just about keeping the body flexible, it is about reducing the risk of a sudden, life-altering stroke and preserving the ability to enjoy life fully for years to come. Doctor's final words. As we have seen, strokes are not sudden accidents that come out of nowhere. In most cases, they are the final result of risks that quietly build up over time. High blood pressure, diabetes, heart disease, smoking, and lack of physical activity may appear to be separate problems, but together they create the perfect storm inside the body. For seniors, this storm can strike suddenly, leaving permanent damage or even ending life in a single moment. The good news is that these risks are not beyond our control. Every senior and every family has the power to take steps that lower the danger. Checking blood pressure regularly, keeping blood sugar within safe limits, caring for the heart, quitting smoking, and staying physically active are practical choices that protect the brain. None of these steps require perfection, but they do require awareness, consistency, and support. As a brain doctor, I urge you not to ignore these warnings. Do not wait until the first stroke appears to take action. Prevention is always more effective than treatment. Small daily habits, combined with regular medical care, can mean the difference between living independently and facing a sudden loss of speech, movement, or memory. If you are a senior, begin now. If you are caring for an older loved one, encourage them, monitor their health, and offer support. Together, you can build a stronger defense against the hidden risks that threaten the brain. Remember, protecting your brain is not only about adding years to life, but also about adding life to those years. The choices made today will shape the quality of tomorrow.